Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. I'm outside today by one of my favorite trees that I have in my yard called Germaine's Gyration. It's a Japanese maple. I purchased it a few years ago from Mr. Maple. They used to come down to the Tennessee Lawn and Garden Show, or the Nashville Lawn and Garden Show, and I'd visit them every year, and this is one of the trees I got one year. It's a really cool tree because it's got these branches that kind of twist and turn, and it's just really nice for interest. And if you check out these leaves right here, they've got these thread leaf leaves that are just really gorgeous. But what's really cool this year is, look at that. You see that seed? It is loaded with seeds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a whole bunch of seeds and we're going to put them into a flat. We're going to try to let them get their natural winter stratification outdoors in that flat, and then see what kind of germination we get in the springtime. But this is Germaine's Gyration. Let's take a look at some of the seeds. See, and here's the foliage. It's got this nice fern leaf type foliage, but you check out these seeds and they are all over the place. Now the seeds on a Japanese maple, or really any maple for that matter, are called samaras, and a lot of people call them little helicopters. I used to take them when I was a kid and throw them off my grandfather's porch and watch them all fall down, but they were mostly silver maples probably up there. Maybe a sugar maple or two, but they all have these kind of seeds and they pair up just like this. And now is the perfect time to actually start collecting them because they're still in the tree. They're pretty much as ripe as they're going to get, and they're going to start falling off pretty much any day now. So I'll take these, we'll plant them fresh into a flat of potting soil, and we'll let them grow naturally over the winter. We'll probably have to cover them and protect them a little bit from critters because I have had a whole lot of problems with, say, rodents that want to come in and eat these things. But there's a number of birds that will also want to come and eat them too and enjoy them. And so you can leave some of that out for them, but get enough for yourself and protect your flat. But we'll talk about that here in just a minute. So here I've got a bunch of those Japanese maple seeds, and I'm probably going to collect a few more, and then we'll go ahead and put it into a flat and see what we can get to germinate between now and spring. So what I'm going to use for this is just another 10-20 flat. I know by now, if you've watched a few videos, you've seen me do this a few times. But it's just recycled soil. It's stuff I had in other pots and things that I just kind of put into this one pot just to use it up. It doesn't have to be anything really that grand until you get germination, and at that point this flat is going to be too shallow for me to actually do anything with. So I'm going to have to transplant those little seedlings up into something a little bit larger. So you can see here I've got a whole bunch of seedlings. Now each one of these little samaras has got 2 seeds, and it may have one here that maybe did not really grow as well. So we're just going to pinch off that one and get rid of it because it's not going to be viable. And the best thing to do is probably to go ahead and remove these little wings off of it, so all you're left with is this small little seed part, and then you just plant that and sow it. So you do that for each of these. Now, is it really a big deal if you leave the wings on? Probably not. It does reduce some material that's in here that could potentially rot, but that's not really going to hurt their germination at all. They do it in nature, so it's probably not a problem at all. So you just go through and you split these all up, place them in your tray, which I'm doing here now. Remove any kind of sticks or stems that may still be on them, and plant away. So here we go with all these Japanese maple seeds, just all kind of spread out in this flat. Next up, I'm going to give it a light little covering of some soil, and then we're going to cover it in a way that's going to protect it over the winter so that hopefully the rodents and animals aren't going to be digging in and trying to look for food in our Japanese maples. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a light covering. This is some soil conditioner. We're going to sprinkle it over top. It can kind of function as a little bit of a mulch. It'll protect the seedlings a little bit, keep the moisture in there a little bit, and maybe disguise them from any wandering animals a little bit. There's always a risk with that. And just a quick note, I accidentally dropped this whole tray a second ago on the ground, so I had to re-put everything back in here and redo all the seeds. And that's why I've got so many leaves in, because we're starting to get some leaf drop off the other maples. And picked up a few of those accidentally along the way. So, you know, stuff happens. Not a big deal. These will be fine. So, there's that. Those are all tucked in. So the moisture content in here is really pretty good right now. So I'm not going to water, but if it's dry at all, give it a good watering. We just had like 4 inches of rain the last 2 days. So we have, everything is wet pretty much right now. Next up, we're going to take a tray and we're going to put over top of this to help protect it. So, and this is just a little daisy tray kind of thing that you use for a flat of plants that I just have turned upside down. It leaves a little bit of an air gap in between here. And it worked really well for my viburnum seedlings that I overwintered in here and kept them safe from the birds. In addition to that, I'm going to take a little bit of a piece of brick over top of that. And I'll probably take another one and put it in another location on the other side. Just like, see, like that, a couple rocks. That'll keep that down so animals are not going to have an easy time getting into it. At least the ones I'm worried about, mostly the squirrels and the chipmunks. So hopefully this spring, Germaine's Gyration will have a bunch of seedlings popping up here. Maybe there'll be a few out in the yard and stuff like that later. But these seedlings probably won't be exactly the same as the original Japanese maple. It's possible it could end up getting some of the same growth habit with the undulating branches and stuff like that, but it's very possible it may just be kind of a green lace leaf Japanese maple, in which case it might be really great for using for a rootstock for other types of Japanese maples, or even going back to Germaine's Gyration and taking a cutting from it and grafting it on top of the new seedlings. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit like and subscribe, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching.